With Halloween just around the corner, I thought today we would take a look at some of the creepiest creatures people may have actually seen in real life. The first creature that we will look at is a Jersey Devil. The Jersey Devil, a legendary creature from New Jersey folklore, has reportedly been sighted in the Pine Barrens region since the 18th century. The creature is usually described as having the body of a kangaroo, wings like a bat, a goat or horse-like head, cloven hooves, and a long forked tail. According to the legend, the Jersey Devil was born to Deborah Leeds in 1735 as her 13th child and cursed due to her despair, transforming it into the monster. The first sightings began to occur in the early 18th century. Colonial settlers described encountering a strange creature in the dense forest of the Pine Barrens. These tales reported ominous sounds, blood-curdling screeches, and strange, unexplainable tracks. The most famous wave of sightings came in January of 1909 when the Jersey Devil became a statewide obsession. Over a week, hundreds of people claimed to have seen the beast. The creature reportedly attacked a trolley car in Hayden Heights, stalked the roof of homes in Camden, and was even seen in Philadelphia. Newspapers covered the sightings excessively, spreading fear and fascination. Residents found strange hoofprints in the snow, sometimes on rooftops, baffling locals and officials alike. During the 1909 sightings, police in Camden reportedly attempted to shoot the creature, but to no effect, as if the bullets couldn't harm it. A few days later, several schools and factories closed due to panic, while armed hunting parties set out to find and capture the beast. However, no physical evidence was ever found, leading some to wonder if it was mass hysteria or perhaps a well-executed hoax. Sightings continued in the decades that followed. In the 1960s, residents in Mays Landing reported strange noises and a creature matching the devil's description, while a farm nearby found dead livestock with no clear cause, heightening suspicion. In 1972, a night watchman at an Atlantic City golf course claimed to encounter a strange creature with glowing eyes staring at him from the darkness. The 80s and 90s saw another wave of reported encounters, mainly from hikers and campers in the Pine Barrens. Some reported seeing an unusual creature flying overhead, casting a large shadow, or hearing its eerie screams in the still of the night. Even as recently as the 2010s, some have claimed to capture blurry images or strange sounds that they attribute to the Jersey Devil. Despite the lack of concrete proof, these sightings have cemented the Jersey Devil as a cultural icon, so much so that the New Jersey hockey team is even named the New Jersey Devils. The next creature we'll talk about is the Wendigo, a creature born of Native American folklore and is said to haunt the remote forests of the northern US and Canada. Known for its emancipated body, skeletal appearance, and icy presence, the Wendigo is both feared and revered by Algonquin people. The creature's legend tells of a human who, driven to the extremes of starvation, becomes a monstrous being consumed by an insatiable hunger for human flesh. The Wendigo legends have been passed down for centuries among the Algonquin-speaking tribes in North America. According to traditional tales, the Wendigo was once a human but became a monster through acts of greed, especially cannibalism, during times of famine. Many tribes believe that just saying the name could summon its dangerous spirit. Some of the most documented accounts came from the early 1900s when Canadian psychologist Dr. John Burke reported cases of Wendigo psychosis. The most famous case involved a Cree trapper named Swift Runner who killed and ate his entire family during the brutal winter of 1879. He claimed he was possessed by the Wendigo spirit, a case that terrified locals and added to the legend. Reports of Wendigo encounters often involve eerie circumstances in Canada and the northern US. Hunters, hikers, and trappers claim to see a tall, skeletal creature stalking them from a distance, sometimes vanishing without a trace. There are several stories of hunters or entire families disappearing under mysterious circumstances in these remote forests, with locals attributing these events to the Wendigo. Some modern-day sightings describe finding abnormally large footprints in the snow or hearing strange, otherworldly cries in isolated forests at night. Witnesses have described hearing a high-pitched wail that fills the woods with an eerie silence afterward. These details align with traditional tales of the Wendigo's hunger-driven moans or its ability to mimic voices to lure people into the wilderness. Even in recent years, there have been stories of Wendigo encounters from northern Minnesota to Canada. Some describe seeing a creature with hollow eyes and a skeletal frame watching them from the tree line, moving at unnatural speeds through the forest. Others report a sense of dread or an unexplainable drop in temperature, fueling suspicions that the Wendigo is near. With its haunting lore and chilling sightings, the Wendigo remains one of the most disturbing and memorable figures in North American folklore, representing a warning against greed and a reminder of nature's unforgiving power. The next cryptid we'll see is the Mothman, one of America's most mysterious cryptids, often described as a large, human-like figure with massive wings and glowing red eyes. The legend of the Mothman began in November 1966 in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, when locals reported seeing a strange creature with wings and eyes that emitted an eerie red glow. This being was often seen flying over the area, especially near an old TNT factory. Over the next year, dozens of sightings were reported, often describing a winged figure that could take off straight into the air or hover silently above trees. Witnesses spoke of the unsettling feeling that the creature was watching them, or even attempting to communicate. The sightings peaked in December of 1967, just before the collapse of the Silver Bridge, a tragic event that killed 46 people. Many believe the Mothman was a harbinger of doom, a warning of the disaster that was to come. Though sightings in Point Pleasant waned after the bridge collapsed, legend of the Mothman continued to grow, inspiring books, movies, and cryptid hunters around the world. To this day, people have claimed to have seen the Mothman in places linked to disasters like Chernobyl and the Minneapolis bridge collapse, solidifying its reputation as a mysterious and ominous figure in modern folklore. The next creature is a Chupacabra, a creature of modern folklore that has sparked fear and intrigue across Latin America and the southern United States since the mid 1990s. Described as a small, hairless, reptilian like creature with large, glowing eyes, sharp teeth, and a spiny ridge along its back, the Chupacabra is said to attack livestock, particularly goats, leaving behind dead animals drained of blood. Its name means goat sucker in Spanish, reflecting on the eerie nature of these attacks. The first reported Chupacabra sightings took place in Puerto Rico in 1995, where locals began to find animals with strange puncture wounds, and apparently drained of blood. Eyewitnesses described a creature unlike anything they'd seen before, small but menacing with alien-like features. As the story spread, similar incidents were reported across Latin America and eventually into Texas and other parts of the southern United States, fueling speculation about the creature's origins. Some believe the Chupacabra is a product of genetic experimentation gone wrong, while others attribute it to misidentifications of wild animals, like coyotes, suffering from mange. However, sightings and stories continue to circulate, adding to the mystery of a creature that lurks at the edge of science and myth, leaving a trail of terrified farmers, bizarre livestock deaths, and a lingering question: what exactly is the Chupacabra? Let me know what you think it might be in the comments. And now we get to the final creature on our list. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is one of North America's most enduring legends. Described as a large, hairy, ape-like creature standing between 7 to 10 feet tall, with immense strength, Bigfoot is said to inhabit remote forests, particularly in the Pacific Northwest. The creature's legend traces back to indigenous American folklore, where tribes spoke of wild men who roamed the woods, leaving oversized footprints, knocking on trees, and making eerie calls. The modern Bigfoot phenomenon began in 1958 when giant footprints were rediscovered near Bluff Creek, California, sparking a widespread interest. But it was the famous 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film, which appears to show a large bipedal creature walking through a clearing, that solidified Bigfoot's place in pop culture. Since then, there have been thousands of sightings and pieces of alleged evidence, from hair samples to casts of massive footprints. Sightings vary, but witnesses consistently describe a towering bipedal figure with long arms, a sloped forehead, and deep-set eyes. Bigfoot is often seen fleeting, moving through dense woods, disappearing into fog, or standing in the shadows before vanishing. Many who have had encounters describe feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched or even smelling a strong, musky odor. Despite extensive searches and studies, concrete evidence of Bigfoot remains elusive. However, the sightings persist, captivating imaginations and spawning a community of believers, researchers, and skeptics who all continue to search for one of the world's most elusive legends. I thank you for watching this video today. Leave a like on it and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.